Today on Real Bankruptcy.
I have a few questions for you.
Good, I've got a few for you.
Mr. Weiss is facing health problems, and Mrs. Weiss is being forced into early retirement.
When that happens, we're going to lose all of that income.
Their medical and credit card bills are mounting. They owe $6,000 to the IRS, and they have a $420,000 mortgage on a home now worth $220,000.
So you're going to be letting go of that house and moving on, right? Now.
The loan modification was refused, and the mortgage company is threatening foreclosure.
And this house is, I don't know how long we'll be able to stay here.
What will the Weisses be able to do? Will Martin be able to help reduce their debt? Will Martin be able to find the answers?
You basically make too much to qualify for a Chapter 7.
Make too much?
And Sam receives an emergency phone call where a foreclosed home could be sold out from underneath the owner.
There's a lady on the phone. She's got a trustee sale set for her house tomorrow.
All this today on Real Bankruptcy.
You seem to be less concerned than me.
I initially met with Mr. and Mrs. Weiss. They were getting very, very close to retirement age.
We've got a lot of bills and we just have a lot of expense.
We spent a good half hour together, and after talking to them, it was pretty apparent that as of right now, they don't qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
Well, we've met with Sam and learned that they don't qualify for 7, I guess they call it, the full bankruptcy. We've got to do a 13. Yeah. Sam tells us we make too much money.
Basically because of their income, and also they did have some assets that if they did file a Chapter 7, they stood to lose. So my recommendation for them was to file a Chapter 13 reorganization, and based on their current income, would have to pay, I think I estimated, although I didn't have their actual documents, I estimated that they would have to pay all of their debt back in the Chapter 13.
We've got a lot of bills.
The plan, in my mind, was to start them in a Chapter 13, and then if the circumstances changed where Mrs. Weiss retired, otherwise had a change in income.
I mean, it's looking like you're going to be forced into retirement, so when that happens, we're going to lose all of that income.
We would probably be able to adjust their plan payment either to a much lower payment or switch them to a Chapter 7 and just walk them right out of bankruptcy debt-free. When they came back into the office, I wasn't available, so they made an appointment with Martin Probilski, and Martin met with them, and I think finished the case with them and had pretty good result.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Weiss, how are we doing today?
Okay.
Start off, you've already met with Sam. You guys have any questions? Because I know it's a lot. It kind of...
Yeah, I don't know if you do, but I don't understand it completely. I mean, okay. I know we call it a Chapter 13.
That's correct. Chapter 13 is a bankruptcy where you're in a repayment plan. The main reason a lot of people go into the Chapter 13 is because of income. You basically make too much to qualify for a Chapter 7.
We make too much?
Well, right now you guys make just a little bit too much. Your income is above median for the state of Nevada, and that's kind of the guideline. In fact, you guys are substantially over median.
So we have to repay?
As much as you can afford. Right now is actually probably going to be most of your debt. In your case, though, you guys are expecting that you're going to retire in the next 2 years, ma'am, correct? And I know you don't want to be, but the point is once that income comes off the books, then you guys are going to qualify for a conversion or a reduction in income. So your payment would go down dollar for dollar. Believe me, your payment's going to be based on what you can afford and on your income. Okay, we base it off of certain deductions that are allowed. There may be some adjustments to your lifestyle because of the fact that in bankruptcy, you can't go to Starbucks every day. But that doesn't mean you have to do without. Okay, we do get an ample budget and everything like that. And let me look at the case and we'll figure that out, okay?
And I don't know, I don't know how this is going to impact Katie and the kids. She can't, afford to more than sustain herself, let alone try to help us. Okay, well now is this going to affect our daughter that is living with us and that whole situation?
I can't wait till this is all over.
Coming up, Sam receives an emergency phone call.
There's a lady on the phone. She says it's an emergency. She's got a trustee sale set for her house tomorrow.
But first,
what about the harassing phone calls we get?
The Weisses are getting harassing phone calls. Will Martin be able to get the creditors off their back? And will their daughter be able to keep living with them after they go through a Chapter 13?
I don't know how this is going to impact Katie and the kids. I mean, she can't more than sustain herself, let alone try to help us.
Coming up on Real Bankruptcy Vegas.